Hey David, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Good. Just initially wanted to ask about team news, update on Antonio, and could we expect to see Kurt Zuma for selection this week?
Well, there's no Antonio yet. He's not back fit, but yeah, Kurt Zuma's back and available for selection, and been training, so we're happy to have him back.
Lovely, thank you. Obviously, I know that the club are supporting him as the best as they can with everything that's gone on. And how's it been with training and stuff?
Yeah, he's been fine. He's been back in. And it's been a terrible situation for him. The club are supporting him really well. He's our captain, and we're fully behind him, supportive, and I don't think MD would ever like it to happen to themselves. So nobody wants to be broken into, and hopefully Kurt, they get the people, the club will put a reward up, and hopefully the club can get help, get the people arrested for it.
Yeah. Reflections on the game that you most recently played against Crystal Palace. I know that the late goal, the goal for Crystal Palace came obviously due to an error, but reflections as a whole, like how do you think the game went?
Well, it's a tough game. I think to play Crystal Palace over the years for us at the London Stadium has always been a difficult game. I think we've probably not had a great record against them at the London Stadium. So a draw wasn't a great result, but it wasn't a bad result either. And look, we had one moments at the end where maybe we could have won it. So tight game in the Premier League.
You're travelling to Tottenham Hotspur to take on obviously probably a new and revamped side of Tottenham. I wanted to get your thoughts on Ange and how do you see him as a manager, his style?
He's done remarkable. Tottenham are a really good side, and he's made a big difference to what they do and how they play, and I think he's made a big difference to the crowd and the atmosphere. But I'm a bit surprised that everybody else was surprised after how well he done at Celtic. If MD who really wants to follow it, to manage Celtic Football Club is enormous, and it's the pressure and what comes with the job of managing Celtic, and Ange was able to cope and deal with it. And if you ask me at the moment, I think Tottenham Hotspur is as good as any side in the Premier League at the moment.
Yeah. You probably, I guess, similarities between Tottenham and West Ham in the sense that both losing valuable players in the summer transfer windows. Declan Rice went to Arsenal, Harry Kane left Tottenham Hotspurs, but you've both done incredible well throughout the season. Bowen's been a great contribution from that aspect. He scored in all of his six goals and 6 away fixtures so far. How important is a player like him and I guess the wider squad as a whole?
Well, it's good when you get somebody to step up, and I think that Jared Bowen has stepped up since we've lost Declan, and I have to say others have as well. But I think you're the same with Tottenham Hotspur. I think they would say the likes of Son and Kulusevski and many other players have really stepped up since Harry Kane's left.
Travelling to Tottenham for West Ham historically has never been easy, but how can you anticipate for this game to go?
Not going to be easy. Don't see it being any different. If anything, as I said, I think Tottenham are playing as well as MD. It will be an incredibly tough game for us, but one we take on. We want to challenge the best teams in the league. We want to try and push ourselves in amongst it if we can, and we'll try and do that on Thursday night.
As a squad, you're already in a better position than you were compared to last season at this point of the season. I guess what would you put down to some of those differences that's led to such success this season?
Well, last season I think would be a bad one to judge on, because I didn't think we were good enough. It's certainly up until the World Cup. I think after the World Cup we improved quite a lot. I think the season before or that we were much better, and even the one before that as well. But I think we're only maybe 1 point, maybe 2 points behind where we were a couple of years ago. So we're actually in a pretty strong position ourselves. And the biggest thing for me is there's loads of room for improvement. I think we can play better. I think we can do a lot of things much better. So hopefully we can try and do that towards the second half of the season.
Lovely, thank you.
Thank you.
It's all right. Hello. After the Palace match, you spoke about playing with a little bit more personality and stamping your authority on the game. That was at home. You're going away to Spurs, a place with a good atmosphere. How important it is for you to start the game strongly, but also come out at the second half of the game strong as well?
Well, I think football's 90 minutes, so you have to start well from the first to the 90th minute, wherever you want to put it. We're well aware that we've not started the second halves particularly well. But I think if you said the first half, I think we're probably nearly top of the league in the Premier League if it was only played for 45 minutes. So we're doing some things right at some stages in the game. But going to Tottenham is away game, tough away game. We need to be hard to play against, hard to beat, be competitive. when we get our opportunities to play, we've got some talented players. Hopefully they can do that when we get those moments.
And of course, Mohamed Kudus has been a fantastic player for you. He's come in, he's impacted as well as he could, adapt into the Premier League. Did you anticipate that this very quick integration that he's done? He still has work to do, obviously, and what do you think that he can adapt better to his game to impact West Ham even more?
Well, he started great for us. He's had an impact with his goals, with his assists. I think his all-round play is good, but will improve as he gets more used to the Premier League and the expectations and probably the intensity of the games. But I have to say I've been hugely impressed by how he's done. He's probably started better than I probably would have anticipated. You know, we sort of eased him in the opening game or two, but since then, you know, we've found that he was coming off the bench and he was scoring goals or making goals for us, and now he's starting and he's doing much of the same now. So let's hope that continues.
And of course, AFCON's coming up, and you have a few African players in your team.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to highlight Kudus specifically because there's been a lot around the Ghanaian fan base in Africa, supporting West Ham from their viewing centres. Sports, obviously, football in particular, is very global in how it translates. How great is it from your perspective that, you know, he's very proudly Ghanaian, he's been able to connect with people in Africa and support the club as a whole?
Yeah. Well, like I've got to say, I've had many African players. I've had Joseph Yobo when I was a younger coach at Everton. I've had many. I've had Yakubu. You know, I've had many African players, and I've got to say, I know the support in Africa is huge. The watch of the Premier League. Everybody watches the Premier League, and obviously they're all keen for their own players from whatever nation they come from to do well. You know, we're Saïd Ben Rama here, back in Algeria as well, and Nathan Agard in Morocco. So it's great that we take that to another part of the world and people in Africa see it. The disappointing part for us is that we have to lose them in January for a month, many of them, but look, that's part of it, and the African nations is part of the world football scheduling, and you know, we've got some African players who will probably be away.